So I'm born in Holland, and I had a normal, simple family life with very middle-class people. And my mother was a great lover of religion. She even thought to go into the monastery when she was young, but that didn't happen. She married my father, and they had 4 children together in a very loving energy. I grew up in a Catholic way with the church until I was about 12 years old. Then they themselves lost a little bit the faith in the church mechanism, still very loving and devoted. But then they left kind of the tradition of going every Sunday to church and everything. But I grew up until I was 12 to go to church and blah, blah. And even my mother played the organ in the church. This is a lovely coincidence that I also have a love for to play harmonium. From there, I went to different high school, you call this. And then I started in a very young age a business with records, because I was much in love with music and was playing in the school band and playing with friends. So I was quite successful to start a business. Friends helped me to get started, because an uncle gave me 10,000 gulden to get started, very small. And it grew very quickly because I was very enthusiastic and had a good ear for all kinds of new music, world music and other interesting stuff. So my business grew very quickly. My brother jumped in and we did it together, built up 3 shops. And after 3 years of doing that, I got a very wake-up call. I call it a wake-up call from Baba Ji. I woke up one morning and my mind didn't function anymore. It was completely quiet. There was I felt like a fresh-born baby in a new world that I had not seen. I was so busy with all my things and everything. But then I became so quiet and happy and blissful inside and felt connected. It's like the personality disappeared. The mind disappeared. It didn't comment on life. I could not function. For more than 1 week, this lasted day and night. That I was just in another dimension, I would say, a divine dimension of bliss and happiness. I would sit in the park, go for walks, look at the trees and the birds in amazement that what I missed out on while I was busy with my record shops and even organizing concerts, busy life. That all dropped away. I became immediately a vegetarian. I stopped smoking. Many things dropped away. Not knowing, I had no spiritual context. I was confused what happened to me. I said to my brother, I need a break. I don't know. He also saw something is going on, and take your time. I went to an island in Holland with some books from Jung to kind of get some clarity of what was going on. And I got a little bit of that, but while I was on that island, I saw a television program. I rented a little cottage, and there was a program about a German man, an older man, who ran a Zen monastery in the Black Forest in Germany. I wrote him my experience, and he wrote me back from that's very beautiful. It's kind of a Satori experience that lasted long, but you need much training to stay there in that freedom. So you come to me, and you're welcome to come to me and study here. So I went there to the Black Forest. All my things I dropped away. I had no more interest in my business, my house, my car, my studio. I gave slowly all my things away and went first there, stayed there for 1-2 months. Interesting to mention that Hari Govind, my elder brother, he was also there before me. Very nice coincidence. Anyway, I was in that Black Forest, got my first training in meditation and morning sitting, evening sitting. That gave me some understanding of what had happened to me. So I became a spiritual seeker. After 10 days, this experience kind of stopped. My mind came back and only back to me, I want to live like this. I need nothing. I only want to live like this. But I was losing it. I was again going into the me and I want something. So I was already out of it, not even knowing I was out of it. But the personality came back and said, I want it. That's the problem. So I became a searcher. I read many books from Krishnamurti and Nisargadatta and many. I went to a Gurdjieff school for some months until I read Yogananda's book and many others, until I met a book from Swami Rama. It's called Living with Himalayan Masters. There was a chapter of old Haidakhan Baba. And when I saw the picture of old Haidakhan Baba with a small piece of text that it was a very mystical saint with all kinds of special qualities and like he was worshipped as an immortal, then I felt so touched and I had to cry. Then I went through different things. I went to America. I went through a lot of breathing exercises and cleaning up of my, let's say, samskaras and attitudes. I purified myself for almost half a year. And then I wrote to Babaji. At that time he had to write if I could come. And then Gora Devi wrote me back, you can come anytime. I was in America at that time. I left all my things in Holland. I went to America in this breathing process. And then from America I went to meet Babaji. So he woke me up in a few moments and gave me the road that he was physically in the body. And then from America I came here. And at the bottom of the stairs, I met Babaji. I walked up here. At that time, we had to walk from Damside with a bus to Damside. Walk up here, and Babaji was standing there down at the bottom of the stairs. And I come with my backpack, not even able to make pranam, but he already put his thumb on my forehead. And by doing that, all my tension from traveling and fell away, and I felt very peaceful and blissful and felt I've arrived. That was a very strong momentum of just come here. And then Babaji comforted me. He said, go here, go to the office, there will be a room for you. I will see you tonight in the Arti time. But that was my road. Boom, 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 boom. He woke me up, and like Babaji always said, he calls everybody. It is not that you come by you wanting to come. It is he has called people to him. And now I realize that even more. He called me, and after some time, he gave me the name Pujari. That's also what we spoke about before. That was quite. But first he gave me simple jobs to work in the riverbed with the stones, with everybody doing, and then he had me do a fruit shop. A little bit later, he changed. You make a bakery on the Guffer side, and then I did that. And then one day we were standing here at the main temple with Babaji. I was standing here, and Babaji said, "You tomorrow here puja." And I said, "But Babaji, I don't know puja." He said, "No, you do Om Namah Shivaya, and tomorrow you do here puja." At that time there was an old Pujari. He showed me around how to do it, and I was able to do that. A little later, I was here with Muniraji, standing with Babaji, and then Babaji told me, and Muniraji, that in my past life I was a Pujari in a Ram temple in the south of India, and that were my good karmas I built up there to meet him physically. Interesting to say, in the beginning, the first year, Babaji always gave me the chandan like this, like Vishnu Ram. And I was, of course, okay with that, but sometimes I was confused. But when he told me that I was devotee of Ram, but now had the good luck to be at his feet. So that was a very strong story. So from that moment, he called me Pujari. Even I had the luck of traveling with him to Kedarnath, Badrinath, with Raghu and others. And then when we came there, he is at one moment in the Kedarnath temple, I was sitting in a tea shop with Raghu, nice moments. And then Baba said, "Where is my Pujari? Where is my Pujari?" Everybody go look for the Pujari, while Baba was giving darshan in a hall there in Kedarnath. So people go, "Pujari, Pujari, Babaji is calling you." And then he made me really his Pujari. He said, "You have to do every morning and evening puja to me." So I had to learn to do the physical puja, the plates and the janeo and the chuni and the water and the milk pansamrit. Muniraji helped me he heard that I was from the past to Pujari. So he trained me. Now I realize it's both Babaji and Muniraji. They trained me very lovingly for that period. Like 3 years I could stay mostly here with Babaji. But I realized it was just a beautiful preparation time to bring out some qualities that we was able to serve in the world later. And that happened mostly after Babaji Samadhi. But the beauty was to be with Babaji. So I have experienced a lot of the divine dimension of Babaji. This is his infinite love for everything and everybody. He was so connected with everything and everybody. Of course, you've heard 100 times that he knew all our thoughts, he knew all our emotions, he knows your past life, he knows your future. One moment I was sitting in the little duni here, the Pujari duni in Haidakhan, and I was making the batis for the archi lamp. And Babaji came sitting next to me, and in the duni, well, the fire was going, and I was making the batis. Sometimes he was so sweet, and he said, later, after work, you will sit at fire. At that time, I hardly knew what a fire ritual and the Havan was all about. But he showed in many ways that he already knew destiny. You could see where the flower would grow and what it would do later. Now I realize that more and more, he told me so many things that happened much later. One of the things that I would sit with fire. So slowly I started to serve around Muniraji, learned many things about fire, ritual, Havan, pujas. And then he instructed me. One time he gave me a very big sweater with red, white and blue. Much too big, but then was his sign that, and speaking often, that you have to do something for your country, you have to do something, some service in the world. And I realized we are not there for our personal pleasure to be with Babaji. It was really a mission. I got training, and then the luck to be able to pass that on. And I still had that love for music, so I enjoy it very much to learn the harmonium. When I came, I had a bouzouki, a Greek string instrument, which I played, and I did Ram, 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 and I played it out of the hood in front of Babaji. And I remember one time it was tuned in a special way. It's a nice story. Tuned in a special way in a chord that I just had to do some melodies. One moment Babaji said, give me this thing. So Babaji was sitting here, he takes this thing and he not play, he started to tune it. Always showing that he knows far beyond. Otherwise he would play it, but he would not play it, he would just tune it, because he knew that I tuned it in a special way. And these things, in many ways, he showed his divinity. Lovely also to share when I was sitting here playing harmonium and Babaji sitting here giving darshan. One moment he was dressed up with a mala and a beautiful feather in his head. And I was praying the arti with all people. And I look at him and that's why he looks so beautiful now. It's really like he's the chief of the American Indians. It is such a beautiful luck I have to sit here. On that moment, Babaji picks up an apple and ploops, throws it over the harmonium in my lap. And that was the communication we had with Babaji. And of course, I'm not the only one, but wow, he's so beautiful now. I felt very moved, even to tears, that you have that kind of communication. And I said, I'm really sitting here in front of God, is the divine. And he picks up a bag of nuts and ploops, throws it over the harmonium in my lap. And at the same time, he continues with other people, say something here, call somebody here. But this was so magically beautiful about Babaji, that he communicated with so many people at the same time, that staying with him a little bit longer, you could see he is not a physical body. There's a body, but his consciousness is so wide that he, for sure, knows all the thoughts in this, like a field of flowers. He sees all these human beings sitting in front of him with all their emotions, their desires, their obstacles. It's like he sees that in one time and then play with that in an effortless way. It was so miraculous to be in his presence. I try to a little bit describe what you cannot describe to be in front of Babaji. But slowly I could see he is all-knowing, all-powerful. He has all the siddhis, and we were just having satsang among the Westerners daily about our experiences, and then everybody would share how we could not understand this divine form that we were so lucky to sit in front of. But at the same time, he trained us. Wake up early, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, wake up, take your bath, do your discipline, keep working and serving, but in a very happy spirit. And that continued all my life. That is Muniraj continued that. The beauty of Muniraj was that he kept guiding all the devotees after Babaji Samadhis to continue, because I didn't want to leave Haidakhan. At the end of the last 2-3 months before Baba Samadhi, he sent me to the other side of the ashram, to the Gufa, to stay with Gorari in a little room. And at that time, there were only the 9 temples and a little Ram Kutir. So I stayed there, and whenever I would come to this side to have Babaji Darshan, he would look at me, but why you come? Why you come? Only when he took Samadhi, I realized that he was preparing me to work and serve there a little bit without his attachment to his physical presence, because it was all the, where is Babaji, where is Babaji? All the energy was concentrated on Babaji. He learned me to just work there and serve there with Gorari. Babaji would come every day. And I learned to relax more in Haidakhan and enjoy. But I thought I would never leave here. I would spend the rest of my life here. I had given everything to Baba and had the most blissful moments here. The beauty of the moments here with Baba was also when Baba was sitting near his kutir at the little Havankund and the people tree. Every morning he would give chant on his kutir. He would sit with his fireplace, Mansingh prepared the fire. We would sit around with a few people often. And the way Babaji was making these offerings, it was so exquisite. You could feel he was feeding the universe, or connecting with the universe. The way in silence he would just sit there. We hear the birds, the river flowing, and Babaji. It was such a divine. I have to control myself. Because there is cannot describe the beauty of being in this physical presence, the energy field around Babaji. It was so magically beautiful, the innocence with how he moved. As a child, he would be easy to deal with everything, people's, animals, trees. He knew everything. It was such a divine joy to be around here. Also often very difficult, because he disciplined. If you wanted to stay, you had to clean yourself up and be disciplined and serve. Be willing to serve day and night without having a thought to go to Haldwani or to have a break. You don't know. If you have that, he would send you away. If you want to stay with him, you have to have 108% commitment, which I had, because I had given up everything. But I miss him every day in the sense that I remember the beauty of being with him. At the same time, I know this energy is everywhere. I don't miss him in the sense, if I see you, I remember him. If I'm walk through a park, I see Babaji. It is all Babaji. It is in everything. There is the divine. If it's in a dog or a cat or no, it's in everything. So in that sense, I don't miss him. But the miraculous beauty to have it in a physical form that has all these all-knowing qualities. That is, I've met different masters and teachers, but the qualities of Babaji, this is all his knowingness and loving capacity, but also discrimination and seeing all your funniness. You felt so naked. Now, I can sit in front of you, but it's different. If you sit in front of Babaji, you just only go on your knees. That's for everybody. You cannot not become a devotee, because it is obvious that it is not a human being. It's obvious that it's a divine incarnation, but I cannot understand what is a divine incarnation. I could only feel that it's a divine incarnation, but if it's Mahavatar, Shiva, or whatever, this tradition or this tradition, for me it was God incarnated. Like I said, it was mostly a liberating training time around Babaji, that we get inspired, we learn many things about mantras. And Babaji told us as children, we were like children around him, and he'd been teaching us. After his samadhi, it was Muniraj who said, no, Pujari, you not stay here, you go back to your country. The work has to be done for Babaji, that's why he called you. So he guided me on he was incredibly disciplined, incredibly loving, very capable of dealing with worldly affairs. So he sent me back, go back to the world, go back to your country, go and do business and make an ashram for Babaji. This is your next. So I surrendered to that. Also because I had the luck that after Baba Samadhi in '84, I stayed several months, almost half a year with him in his house with Muniraji. And there I had also deep experience of falling away of all personality, deep quietness. So I became very devoted to him and felt like, well, to help Muniraji is the best I can do with my life. Because to hang in Haidakhan didn't feel right. So I started to serve Muniraji. And that took off very strong immediately. We went on tours around the world. He sent me back to Holland to start business again, but I didn't want to go back into the world and business. I did that already. I left all that. But from nothing, I started again in '85 with a CD shop and one more shop and one more shop, until there was enough money and a group of 10, 15 Dutch people said, yes, we really want an ashram. And when they said, Pujari, you have to lead this, now you create an ashram. Okay, that was my mission, because I wanted to do that, because to live in an ashram means like you're free from time, money, you're in that divine realm that I know from living with Babaji. I said, well, that's a good thing to create in Holland. So I really was 100% motivated to create an ashram, which is this heavenly place where you just pray, be together, lovingly with each other, cook, eat, karma yoga. So that was very motivating. And Muniraji guided me, yes, you do this, deal with the problems of people, said only look at the good qualities of people. Everybody has a shadow side, but you keep working. It was very difficult at times. But he always guided me with my own mistakes. You stand up again. You come to learn something. You didn't come perfect. I had luck to have fallen a few times behind my own personality, that if that happens, it's such a blissful experience, life itself. But at the same time, these karmas keep coming and keep testing you, and Baba keeps playing with you. And at the same time, if I look back now, wow, I've done some beautiful things without claiming it that I did it, because it's all like the grace of Babaji and Muniraji guiding me on the human side. So no, do this, keep doing, do this. So my road is just graceful. I feel also Shasti said, you're so blessed. You have these qualities that Babaji gave you. You can express your devotion. You are lucky on the financial plane. If you need money, it will come to you, and you're not attached to it. So I had many good samskaras that made me ready to do some service under the wing of Babaji and Muniraji. So I feel very content about that. And it looks like everybody also now who comes here in touch with Babaji, they get the same message. To clean yourself up, overcome your obstacles and start serving. And you will be a happy human being.